As you work in Word, you may wish that you had some really nice, effective shortcuts. Well, on the Insert tab, there are, 4 or 5 that you may really like, but may not even realize are there. So we're going to look at those today. Hi, I'm Terry, one of the Consumer Technology Specialists for Mid-Continent Public Library, and let's look at those shortcuts. Our example today has some of that fake Latin language because what we're really interested in is creating a document by using some shortcuts that we can find on the Insert tab. So to find the Insert tab, we're going to go above the ribbon to the second choice here, which is Insert. And then as we click on that Insert tab, on the left-hand side, the very first group of buttons here is the Pages group, and in that Pages group, we have the cover page, the blank page, and a page break. Now, you may have created page breaks several different ways, but we are going to look at this way as well. And then over on the right, we have the text group. And again, you may have used this text group for, say, word art or quick parts or text boxes. And we are going to look at the signature line and the date and time. So just adding to our toolbox as we go through and work with Word. Let's start with our first choice over on the left, which is the cover page. And I'm going to click just before the very first word in our document, and then I'm going to go to that Pages group to the very first button, which is Cover Page. And these are kind of perplexing when you're required to create one. So let's see what our choices are here. Let's go to Cover Page, click the drop down, and this is beautifully done. Some of these names of the different cover page themes or designs are the same as what you may see in PowerPoint. Let's just go with Facet and click on it. And it even says, before I click on it, geometric graphic accent with title block, document abstract, and contact info. So when I click on it, now I have a brand new first page, and I can put in my document title here. So let me just click and type in example document. And if it has a subtitle, I can put that in or take it out. Now it also says abstract, and it says draw your reader in with engaging abstract. It's typically a short summary of the document. And if you don't want that, you can delete that text box as well. And then it has put in my name, and then below that it gives me the option to put in an email address as well. And that was so painless. It's all professionally laid out for me. So there is so much less for me to do and still look really good. I've come down in the document a little bit, but just below my cover page, I realized that I would like to copy my final document double-sided. And because of that, I really need to have a blank page between the cover page and then what is in the document. What I may want to do is go back up to that Insert tab, the Pages group, and then go to the second button here, which is Blank Page. Wow, how easy is this? And then I can simply click on Blank Page, and it has added in a blank page. Now it's a little hard to see, so let me go to File, Print, so that I can go to the beginning here. I have my cover page that I've added in. I have my blank page that I've added in. And then as I scroll through my print preview, I have the document with the text in it. So this is so easy, and with 2 clicks, I have really improved that basic document. As I come down in my document, let's say that I've decided that I need to add in a page break. in the Insert tab and the Pages group, I have page break, and this may be one of the easier ways to remember and one of the quicker ways to get to where you can create a page break. Now let's also then do a print preview to see how that looks. So let me go back to the beginning. Here I have my cover sheet, my blank page, and then as I scroll through, I've added in that page break here on page 3 and pushed the text over to page 4 and to page 5. Very easy to do. This formatting is a wonderful bonus for you when you're working with a large document. I've moved back to the beginning of the text of our document, and I'm just going to press enter and then click right before that paragraph mark. And then I'm going to go up to the ribbon, and I'm still in the Insert tab, but this time I'm going to go to the right with the Date and Time button. I'm going to click just to the left of that paragraph mark where I want my date and time to go, and then I'm going to click on Date and Time. And this is so much easier than trying to remember what the date is anymore. And it gives us all of these different formats. So you'll notice that some of them start with the month. Some of them even say what the day is. So with some of these formats, you'll have all numbers. Some of them you'll have numbers and words as well. Down here we have the year first, here we have the day first. So it just depends on who you're corresponding with and how they understand the date format as well. And then as I come down, it even shows the date and the time, or the time by itself. Now we're going to do a quick comparison of things here. So first of all, I'm going to just select this 10/27/23 and then the time as well. I need to be very careful here because in the lower right we have a checkbox for Update Automatically. If I want the date and the time to remain the same every time I open my document, I do not want to check Update Automatically. So with that in mind, I'm then going to go to the OK button and click, and here I have the date and time. Now for comparison's sake, I'm going to press enter, and then we're going to go right back to date and time. We're going to choose that same format of date and time, but this time I am going to check the Update Automatically checkbox and then click OK. And you'll notice that they look the same. So to compare the two, what we need to do is save the document, close it, and then reopen it so that we can see what happens. Bear with me as I save it, close it, and then we'll come back on the reopen side of things. I'm now at the folder where my example document is, and I'm going to double click it. And it's going to open up our cover page, our blank page, and you can see that already I have a change in the time from when I saved and closed and reopened to when I have this original date and time. If you need a document where every time you open it, the date changes to reflect that date instead of the date that you created the document, then this with the check mark and saying that you want one that updates all the time, that is the format you're going to use. However, if you need to keep the original date and time, make sure that that checkbox is unchecked. So that is our date and time. Now let's move to the end of my document, and I'm just going to press Control End, and it takes me to the end. And let's say that I need a signature line. Well, again, I can go back up to the Insert tab and go to the right to the text group and click on signature line. Now, actually, I can click a drop down here, and it says, do you want a Microsoft Office signature line, or do you want to add signature services? And I think the add signature services is kind of beyond the scope of this video, but let's go with Microsoft Office signature line. And this is really nice. It's a nice little dialog box that says, okay, so who is the suggested signer? And it says, well, for example, John Doe. And let's, in fact, we'll just use that today. So here's the suggested signer. And what is the signer's title? And we'll just follow even with the examples here. And then what is the suggested signer's email address? So that would be something like john.doe@myemail.com. And then instructions to the signer. And this is really nice. It says, before signing this document, verify that the content you are signing is correct. Then we have two check boxes that we also want to read. So the first one, allow the signer to add comments in the sign dialog box. That's maybe not a bad idea, depending on who is going to be signing the document. And then also show sign date in the signature line. Well, depending on your document, again, this may be a great tool for you to use. So we're going to leave both of these boxes checked, and we'll click OK. And just that fast, we now have a signature line where we have the intended person, John Doe, and their title. Now, when I click in it, and actually I think it takes a double click for the person to sign it digitally, now they can read at the top their reminder, before signing this document, verify the content you are signing is correct. And it says type your name below or select image. So they could pull in their signature as a PNG or a JPEG, for example. And so we'll just type John Doe, and I could even put manager if John Doe likes to add that in. Then below that, commitment type. So as I click on the drop down, it says created and approved this document, approved the document, or created the document. We'll say created and approved. And then what is the purpose for signing this document? I think we'll just say requires legal signature. And then below that, to include information about the signer, we can click the Details button. So we can click Details and look at all of the information that we could add if we need to. And we could put in their address, their city, state, zip. And we'll just say, we don't need to do any of that. And then we can come down to Sign in the lower right. It says your signature has been successfully saved with the document. If the document is changed, your signature will become invalid. Okay. And look at that. We have recoverable signature. It has been saved separately. See how I have this sort of a certificate of who's signed this thing? And then up at the top, I even have a yellow banner that says marked as final, but we could, if we had to, come in and edit anyway. But that adding a signature line is, of course, mostly for businesses. But what a nice way to add a straight line and give people a place where they know that they need to sign. And those are our 5 shortcuts today. To learn even more, be sure to go to mymcpl.org/online learning for such great resources as Universal Class, Learning Express Library, LinkedIn Learning, and Udemy Business. We also premiere videos every Wednesday and Friday at 1 o'clock. If you miss a video premiere, you'll still be able to find it later when it's convenient for you. You can find us on Facebook at MCPL 360, and you can find us on YouTube by going to our MCPL MO channel.